Hey people, we're back and it's a return of Premier League football. Goody goody. I'm telling you now, some Man United fans, the ones that enjoy the pain, this is something well and truly to celebrate. And for rival fans too, they will be celebrating. We get to laugh at Manchester United some more. Maybe they're laughing. Maybe they're not laughing. By the time we hit 3 o'clock tomorrow, it's down to business for Eric Ten Hag, who, let's be honest, is a sacked man walking at this point. And then follow up about 5 o'clock onwards. We'll know exactly how the build up has paid off, if it pays off at all. So Brentford that are ahead of us in the table. Most teams are, quite literally, most teams are ahead of us in the Premier League. We're down in 14th. Brentford are up in 11th, and they didn't disappoint when they left off for international break. We did, of course, but they came away from a bout against Wolves, where they were victors 5-3. Crazy game, and it was a sort of game that I didn't expect anything to really happen in, but there we go. I mean, scored quite a few goals, but no clean sheet in the last five. Um, does that say that perhaps that will continue? The trend may continue tomorrow at Old Trafford, or will they keep Manchester United locked out of things? Which, to be honest, in the past 5 games ourselves in all competitions, we've only mustered 4 goals, and 3 of them came in one game against Porto, and we didn't even win that game. Our win-loss record is 4 draws and a loss. Crazy stuff with Brentford. They've won 2, drawn 1, lost 2. So fairly balanced in their part. It's quite evenly split. But points gainage. They are attaining better points accumulation than Manchester United are, especially the fact they've picked up 4 points in their last 5, or in the last 4 Premier League games. For Manchester United, we picked up 2. Yeah, 2 points. 2 points, and yeah, draws are what I like to call as drosses. They're more, you lose more in a draw than you gain. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. Tomorrow cannot be a draw. If Ten Hag wants this job, and let's be honest, he has been, by some crazy miracle, he's still in the job. I, honest to God, don't know how this is at all possible. He should have been sacked at the tail end, or the beginning of the international break. If it was up to me deciding, I would have sacked him after Liverpool, or Brighton or Liverpool is when I really turned. And he's still here, guys. He's still here. What is it going to take for this manager to be sacked? What is it going to take for Ineos to turn around and say, now enough is enough? Some people will say, oh, you'll be here for the season. Not if we're rooted bottom of the table in 20th place and things get that bad. He won't get the whole season. Absolutely won't. No chance. They wouldn't allow for it. Most people wouldn't allow for it. And see, the fans would absolutely, would start taking matters into their own hands and really making life hell for Ineos. And Ineos, the one thing that they can't really afford right now is to make an enemy of the fans, like previous boards had done with the likes of Ed Woodward, calling the fans hysterical, um, like Richard Arnold's not really, deciding with anything whatsoever. Um, yeah, just not really playing the roles that they should have been, and ultimately, where fans are already quite sick and tired of poor leadership, we can't really, well, they can't afford to see Manchester United get a new facelift essentially, and continue with poor leadership. So I'm one to believe that the work that they put in so far and the people they put in their respective positions are people that I think care a little too much about doing a good job to let a Manchester United project where the aim is to win trophies such as Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues go astray. They wouldn't let it drift away. Like I can't imagine that they would. And whether you put that down to ego or whether you put that down to something else, for me, I just think the professional aspect of it. The people in those positions that are surrounded by each other as professionals, and the working environment. Yeah, they've laid down the challenge, the call to arms. So I can't imagine that they put out that sort of a message, um, employ the people they have, and then ultimately say, "Oh, we're just joking about that. By the way, we're just joking. Don't worry about it." It was just a ploy to get you all excited for the meanwhile, but and then doing half of the work just to get you really hooked in. So we spent loads of money to do this, um, and ultimately now we're just meandering through the void of space. For Manchester United, at the moment, it genuinely feels like we are in a void, a bottomless pit. Where does this club well and truly go? And people will say, well, sacking the manager doesn't fix anything. Well, I think we've got a board in position where you can actually, do something and give a team the squad a direction. And I think it will be a gradual thing that they will remove the players that I think, you know, whether it's the current manager or the future management, or maybe even they'll hint at it. We'll get the hint from fans, where the mass majority of fans say, "Oh, this player's a waste, man. Why would we want him? He's past it. He's finished. He's not pulling his weight. He's not delivering on the pitch for his team. He puts shame on that jersey he puts on, and brings shame to the club. So I can't imagine board members would necessarily outright listen to fans, but if the noise becomes too deafening, then absolutely you can't avoid the obvious, which is why fan voice is powerful, especially when it is a unified front. Um, and I think fans in this country 100% have to make that a much more prevalent feat in fan culture in this country, because it's way too easy to divide ourselves. And I think people who will look at people who may say certain things and think, I believe in fan unity, but I watch somebody online and I've decided I hate everything about this person and I hate his whole goddamn bloodline. I wish nothing but death and pain and torture on them or something. It's just like, why are people so easily divided like this? I think it is maybe a media-based outreach where people have sort of sussed out the sus nature of media, and have really jumped the gun on what's believable and what's not. And so the superstitions probably pen people against each other non-stop, 24/7. Um, but it is what it is with media. As long as people with the power are people that believe in more commonsensical things, even if they aren't saints, and I can't imagine any of them are saints, but people with common sense is what we want, is what we need, is what the world needs. Let the people figure out for themselves what they want to do outside of it. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, Injuries, I think both clubs have got some injury concerns. I mean, Brentford, no De Silva, no Gustavo Nunez, no Rico Henry, no Aaron Hickey, no I. Is that Igor Thiago? Yes, Igor Thiago. So their striker signing. He's out for I think maybe another month or so. Really big injury at the start of the season. Damsgaard, Jensen, and Visa. Those three players are question marks. They might be available, fit and ready to go, but then again, they might. It's plausible they may miss the game, dependent on what the fitness readings are. Man United side of things: Harry Maguire no show, Kobe Mainu no show. A small muscular injury, will be out for a few weeks with that. Tyrell Malacia still on the recovery part of things, but he's training with the first team, so that won't be long. And Lenny Oro also with the ankle injury, I think it was the cruciate ligament or something, where he had an operation on it, and he's recovering. Word has it, recovering faster than initially anticipated. So that can only mean good news in that sense. Question marks, however, over the likes of Garnacho Hoyland, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, and Manuel Agate. Agate went off with a fitness issue, apparently muscular concern. I think it's about the 85th minute or so during the last about to say Hungarian, so Uruguayan international game. Luke Shaw, similar boat to Tyrell Malacia, but these players are question marks. So I think Luke Shaw, I don't know. I don't know whether he's actually got the green light to make the full return yet, but we'll see as to what the press briefing is on that. Mason Mount, head injury. Um, I think is probably he's slowly adopting the Daniel Sturridge syndrome, where no matter what, if you touch that football pitch and you get subbed on or you start a game, God will cometh and smiteth thee. Hell haveth no fury for you stepping on a football pitch. Mason Mount, get injured. Honestly, if it's not one thing, it's something else. It doesn't stop. He'll finish off with one injury, come back 1 or 2 weeks, out injured again, unique injury. I think Anthony Martial it was actually had this issue before he was let go at the end of his contract, which was this summer. I think Christian Eriksen also a player that is touted to be leaving at the end of this season. I think his contract also expires, so United will be letting him go. Um, so expect a summer signing from midfield, 100%. Um, Rasmus Højlund, I think little bit of a concern, but Joshua Zirkzee, I think, from what I know, is more or less fully fit and available. So it's not like we don't have any striker options. Just not potentially won't have any options of depth from the bench. And then Garnacho, a knee injury, I'll probably say, if considering this was picked up on international break, won't play in this game. But Marcus Rashford, who wasn't selected for international duty, will most likely feature, I think, the likes of Amad Diallo, who was ruled out of international duty early through illness. Wink, wink. Through illness, he's now fully fit to play, as is Mazraoui. Now, it was believed that he picked up a cardiac condition, which they've done the tests and supposedly come back reading, well, actually, he's relatively okay with match fitness. It shouldn't hamper anything. So, you're good to resume training, full first team training, and he's cleared he's cleared for action. Whether you guys think that that's all a good thing, or whether you are quite concerned about that, given it's a cardiac issue. You can never take cardiac issues too lightly. I think very, very serious things, considering that cardiac arrest seems to be one of the most common things to happen to people nowadays, which is uh, conspiracy theory. If you know, you know. Um, but yeah, that's where we kind of are with the fitness side of things with the teams, and quite a few clubs have hit injuries. Supposedly Arsenal, I mean Bukayo Saka, for example, off with an injury, but is still ready to play. I mean, the guy you could literally, that Red Bull world record thing for the highest ever skydive, where somebody took a space balloon and jumped off back down to earth. Um, Bukayo Saka could do that challenge, but he could do it without. He could do it without the parachute or the spacesuit. He would fall and absolutely pancake it and turn into strawberry jam upon impact with the surface of the earth, and be scheduled to play a game the very next day. You can bet your bottom dollar that he would pull himself together and be fully fit and ready and available to start the very next day. Something ain't quite right with Bukayo Saka, where he's picking up as many injuries. Um, not quite right with the player himself, but quite right with the situation. Right, the situation, is he really injured, or is he just not fancying something specific and then feigning it, and getting an out of a situation you don't want to be in? Because it feels like Bukayo Saka has not experienced any big injuries yet, but with how much he gets played and how much he's relied upon, what's to say the big injuries aren't around the corner? It's you don't know just how brittle players will be, how tough players are. But yeah, let's see how long that goes on for. Um, as far as the team goes, I think I'd be interested. I think if it depends on who's fit and who isn't. If Luke Shaw isn't available, which maybe isn't, maybe he won't be. He hasn't really played any minutes yet. This or hasn't played any minutes since I think February for Manchester United. Played a couple minutes for England um, at the Euros, um, but nothing ever since. So I can't imagine even if he is fit, he plays. I think Diogo Dalot probably will occupy the left-hand side now that Mazraoui is more or less fit and available. So Mazraoui most likely on the right, but then again he might, heed caution to the wind. Maybe Johnny Evans or Victor Lindelof or even Martinez plays on the left. Um, I think probably you'd want to keep the De Ligt and Martinez pairing going in the middle. If not, then Martinez probably goes out left, and then either bring in Lindelof or Evans into the centre back position, um, just to partner up Matthias De Ligt and give a bit of default know-how. Of course, Nana in goal. As long as the guy has a pulse, he's playing. Even if Bayendier has the most heroic ever appeal to him, Anana's definitely playing ahead of him. Um, and especially given it's a must-win game, I don't think people want to take a chance on, see how well the plan B does, see how well goalkeeper number 2 plays, especially in a Manchester United team in 14th place. Yeah, I don't think you want to take any chances. I don't think any manager would want to. But maybe Ten Hag is completely off the rails and decides, you know what, Bayendier, you are playing, but you're not in goal, you're on the wing, or something crazy like that. Imagine if we see Altay Bayendier get played tomorrow. That would be madness. I would absolutely have it full well belief that yeah, we'll we will be seeing Anana tomorrow. I'm being called from downstairs, so I uh, I best I best hurry things up. Um, that's my grandmother. She's calling me, so I'll quickly finish things up. Um, as far as in midfield goes, I think Agate is a doubt. Casemiro fully fit and available. Ericsson fit and available. Probably going to be a Casemiro Ericsson midfield with Bruno starting ahead of them. Um, Out on the left, I think obviously Marcus Rashford. On the right, Amad Diallo's fit and available, but so's Anthony. Ten Hag may opt to go with that also. She's calling me again. It must be an emergency. Bear with me 1 second. That's not an everyday occurrence, that. You lose a pug. How does that happen? Turns out he was locked outside. Who did that? God only knows. But anyhow, so we've discussed most of the team, and of course, tipping off the striker position, Joshua Zirkzee, as that's the only real fit and available option that we've got. Um, so that puts together the team essentially. That's probably what he may opt to go with tomorrow, but you never really truly know with Ten Hag because you might think the obvious, but he doesn't want you to. He doesn't want to agree with you on the obvious. He wants to go the alternative route. So yeah, is what it is with that. But we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Maybe he goes down the generic route. Maybe he goes down a different road. Who knows? Maybe everyone this week is going to win their positions on the pitch in a raffle ticket prize. Who's gonna get the striker position today? Pick your name out the hat and let's see who it is. But can you imagine? You imagine if Ten Hag and Man United be so far gone that they start deciding things with raffles, with raffle draws. Can you imagine that? Be absolutely crazy. But as far as score predictions go, I think I've already done the score prediction on the Wednesday's Good, the Bad, and the Ugly show. I think I went with a 2-1, 2-1 win to, I think it was 2-1 win to Manchester United. That I went with. I think there was a lot of people that were very favourable to Manchester United getting battered, but that's just generic. That's a very usual thing to do. But who knows? Maybe it does turn out to be a battering, and if it is a battering, then that's Ten Hag sacked, inevitably sacked, because it would mean you've gone away for a whole 2 weeks as a way to detox. You know, get yourself up to speed, up to scratch, fresh new page, new ideas or something. You know, try and start from scratch with a winnable run of games. Then surely, just surely, you shouldn't lose in a really embarrassing way. But you might just happen. So if it does happen, then it would be criminal for him to not be sacked. It would be criminal, because you don't come back from an international break and say, "Oh, now's a chance to get yourself back up to speed," and then absolutely, you don't even stumble. You crash and burn and die. You are dead. You cannot be resurrected. But then you say, "Don't worry, this dead body will more than likely get us back to winning ways next week, or in the midweek when we go away to Fenerbahce in Europa League, managed by Jose Mourinho against his former employers." That guy would want to absolutely dismantle Manchester United if he could have it his way. Of course, he absolutely would. But yeah, it's just, if that happens, if we do lose embarrassingly tomorrow, there's no ifs, buts, or maybes. Everybody, 100% of the fan base would have to be Ten Hag out. 100%, not 99.99999%. 100%. There are zero people alive that would be Ten Hag in and say, "Give him time." Like, you can't. You absolutely cannot. You would show how serious you are. But let me know what you guys think, and how you see this game going. Is it back to is it the start of something new this season for Ten Hag, or is it just a simple case that Ineos are just completely delaying the inevitable? We'll have to see what happens. Make sure you also hit the likes and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll be back again tomorrow, post match reaction, and let's see. Let's see. Sunday as well. Sunday night takeaway show, 8 o'clock. Do be sure to come tune in for that. Hopefully, we're talking about Manchester United having won a game. If not, then hopefully we're talking about Manchester United having sacked Ten Hag. Something, just a bit of something, a bit of the meat and potatoes. Just give us something. Don't treat us like shit and then leave us in the dark. Manchester United, give us something. Catch you guys tomorrow, some point 5 o'clock onwards.